Hello everyone and welcome to another royal reading. It is Lionsgate today. For those of you who follow such things and are aware of such things, it's not going to affect our royal readings. And I have, it is affecting my energy. Let's just put it that way. So it will affect our royal readings. I only have energy for one reading today, but also I have people to see and places to go later on. So not entirely Lionsgate related, but I have the Tarot of Curious Creatures out on the tarot table today. And that is because we are looking at a curious creature indeed, Wallis Simpson, and Meghan's seemingly strange fascination with her. And let's remind you as I shuffle that, of course, this is my opinion. This is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes. And there is a disclaimer in the box below. And I'm going to be looking at a couple of things. The first is the fact that Meghan seemingly was aware that she was driven to her wedding in the same Rolls Royce that Wallis Simpson was driven to David's funeral in, and she didn't seem to mind. According to Tom Bauer, his book, she was fine with that. And she also seems to be styling herself on Wallis Simpson at various critical moments. The Oprah interview, she wore a dress that was very similar to one that Wallis Simpson wore, black dress with the white bird splat pattern on it. And can't blame Wallis for that. Wallis looks quite fetching in her outfit, Meghan not so much, in my opinion. And then, of course, the Dior outfit at the Jubilee Thanksgiving service, which was the spitting image, seemingly a direct copy of an outfit that Wallis wore in 1951. It was a Givenchy Balenciaga number. Wallis looked very good in hers because Wallis has a waist. Meghan doesn't seem to realise she shouldn't wear belted outfits, and so it didn't look quite so good. Anyway, all very odd. And so I want to know what's going on with Meghan and Wallis. If I didn't know better, and I keep checking, I would think that Meghan at some level is a reincarnation of Wallis Simpson. But Wallis Simpson died in 1986, so no, not possible. From our point of view, maybe from other points of view, it is possible. Higher up or lower down. Who knows? I think we're shuffled. But I want to know what's going on with Meghan and Wallis, and I want to know in particular if she's really giving the finger to the Queen with all of this. If she's decided she is going to continue the role of the American Duchess who caused so much grief in the royal family. She's going to cause as much grief as possible to the Queen, to the royals, and carry on basically in Wallis's tradition. It didn't end well for Wallis. She died a very unhappy woman by all accounts, seemingly, and so we're going to ask that as the outcome of this reading. Is Meghan doomed to the same level of unhappiness? And interestingly, we get the Ace of Pentacles as the underlying energy of this reading. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Ace of Pentacles is a path. And in the ordinary Rider-Waite, it's always shown as a journey that's beginning through an archway and off along a solid path. You can see it here as well. Somebody is embarking on a journey for the long haul. They're off on a long journey, a long stable journey of abundance and well-being and all the good things in life, a solid journey. But it's in the reverse. So it tells me that there is some level of journey here, but a shadow journey. And more I'm reading these cards as shadow, their shadow energy when they're in the reverse. Not just opposites, but the worst. The toxic stuff, the stuff that you want to keep hidden, the stuff that you want to keep buried. So if there's a journey here, then it's going to be a toxic journey. I'm going to mimic a journey that was a devastating and destructive journey, not only for Wallis, but also for the royals. So we've got a big answer with that underlying energy, the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I had a bit of a blank when I first looked at it. I do apologize. I did say Lionsgate today. Didn't think it would affect the readings, but it is going to affect this reading. I just do feel a little bit weird. My energy feels a bit weird. First card of this 5-card reading is, how does Meghan see Wallis Simpson? What does she think of her? We get the Four of Wands, the homewrecker. The Four of Wands, but more than the homewrecker, the Four of Wands is in reverse for those of you who are listening to me and not watching. Four of Wands is, of course, the royals as well. It's one of the royal cards because it's the foundation, the firm. Fours are stability, four are fours, the happy home, the castle, the celebration, the stability, but it is in reverse. So Wallis came in, she was the homewrecker, in the sense of she broke up the royal family, she broke up the firm, and she caused enormous damage to them. And Meghan likes that. As I say, the Four of Wands in its reverse is the reverse of celebration. But there is this a kind of schadenfreude in the celebration when it's in the reverse. Meghan is quite gleeful, quite pleased when she thinks about what Wallis did to the royals. She's pleased by it. She likes it. It excites her even because it's wands. And the dog has added his voice to that when I said it excites her. The dog agrees. Interesting. So apparently Meghan knew. I didn't realise. I thought it was she was blissfully unaware when she drove to the chapel for her wedding. When she so rudely smacked that poor man who was trying to help her out of that Rolls Royce. It was the same very same car that took Wallis Simpson to David's funeral, of course, buried at Frogmore Cottage. So there are all ties and ties and ties. I thought she was blissfully unaware, but apparently, according to Tom Bauer, she knew and she was fine with it. So let's have a look and see what the cards want to tell us about that. Seven of Swords. The sneaky card. The running away card, the ghosting card, the leaving card. She was very aware, driving to her wedding. She knew she was going to leave. She knew she was going to take Prince Harry with her, and she knew she was going to sneak off, basically with the family jewels. The bird in the cage there, and off that villain goes. She knew. She was not... she knew, absolutely. She had her own agenda, and she was laughing up her sleeve, her rather ill-fitting sleeve, laughing at the royals and thinking, ha ha ha, if only you knew, I'm going to do more damage to you than Wallis Simpson did to you. This is my opinion. Remember that this is a tarot reading for entertainment purposes, and do read the disclaimer in the box below. And I could say even this is a subjective statement of my feelings. So that is interesting. She knew, and she was fine with it because she knew she was going to do exactly the same thing. And in my opinion. And so next question, this dressing the same as Wallis Simpson. Tell us a bit about that. What is going on with that? Wow. The Three of Swords. Oof. I knew this reading was going to turn dark, and it has. I was going to get one of the dark tarots out, and I thought, well, I'm tired of seeing those dark tarot decks. Let's put some pretty colour on the table today. Oh dear. Oh dear, Three of Swords, heartbreak, betrayal. Feeling Wallis's pain. Feeling it. Here I am. The woman who was made suicidal by the heartless royals, wearing the same dress as Wallis. Wallis and David, it was a case of true love. They had to flee. They weren't allowed to marry by the heartless royals, of course. They had to flee and they had to go into exile and live, but they stayed together forever and ever. Nobody, of course, believes it's a case of true love now, but Meghan might. Meghan might see it that way. She might interpret it that way. And she is definitely reminding the royals. Harry and I are the star-crossed lovers that you were so cruel to and you forced out of the royal family because you're racists and you're heartless and you're cold and you can't parent and you can't love and you don't care when someone's suicidal. And you wanted us to use our children as not bargaining chips, but as objects of fascination. And you broke my heart. You broke Wallis's heart. She's play acting at this. She definitely is, in my opinion. So, is this a big FU to the Queen? Is this, and I would say yes already from these cards, but is this very calculated to hurt the Queen in some way, to upset her, to remind her, to threaten her, to menace her, to gaslight her? What is going on with this? A Six of Wands is a yes. It's a very Wallis Simpson looking outfit, this, interestingly, in this card. It's victory. I'm going to triumph over you. You thought you could break me. You thought you could break Wallis, but you didn't. Very funeral dress, isn't it? I'm going to break you. I'm going to triumph over you. You nasty old woman. That is what is coming, in my opinion. Reading energy, reading tarot cards, that is what is coming from the Six of Wands. Final card for this very short reading is outcome for Meghan. Wallis was doomed to unhappiness to seemingly everyone. Perhaps Meghan doesn't see it that way. How is Meghan's fate going to go? Is it going to imitate Wallis's? Is it going to be doomed to unhappiness? Or are these little lovebirds, these star-crossed lovers, going to be happy ever after? What's the outcome for them? And we get the Nine of Wands in reverse. Yeah, it's not going to go well for her. There she is when the card is upright. She is on the defensive. She's got her guard up. She's ready to defend herself. She's had some knocks, but she's still standing when the card is upright. But when the card is in the reverse, you give up. You walk away. You let go. You think, it's not worth it. I'm damaged. I'm defeated. I'm bruised. I don't need this anymore. It's also a card of a mental illness, just by the way. Not so clear from this version, this depiction. If you look at the Rider-Waite version of the Nine of Wands, you see someone with a bandage around his head. And that for traditional tarot readers means some sort of head injury, mental health injury, problems, personality disorders, that kind of thing. So the psychological problems could become insurmountable in this relationship, and that eventually they give up. They walk away from it. They separate and they go their separate ways. This is not going to endure. This relationship is not going to endure. Wallis and David had to endure in those days because of what they gave up, really. Harry and Meghan haven't. Harry, what has Harry given up? He was the spare, and he's been eased down to 6. And as the Cambridge children grow up in the next, whatever, 10, 20 years, he's just going to go down and down and down and down and down in the line of succession, unless some terrible calamity befalls the royals. And we wish that it does not, and we hope and pray that it does not. But this relationship is not going to endure because they really don't have anything binding them together. Whatever hardships they have faced haven't made them stronger. They have, in fact, weakened them. And so in the end, give up, let go, walk away. That is the energy that's coming off this. It's going to be too hard, and there's too little to gain from it, even though she's claiming here in the FU card that she's going to win. She's going to triumph over the Queen. She's not. The Crown always wins, and she's already defeated. She's visibly being defeated by the royals at every turn at the moment, and so I don't think it's going to last for much longer. I keep saying that. I think we are in the final act. The story has gone on for about 6 years now. The Harry and Meghan story, maybe even longer. Some people speculate that they met in 2015 in Turkey. But she's got a point to prove. She's definitely invested in the story of stealing away from the royals, doing them harm. Was that Four of Wands in reverse, Seven of Swords, stealing away. She knew she was going to leave with Harry as she was going to her wedding, and that is fraud. Fraud on the public, really. To go through that whole charade and know that you don't mean it at all and you're not going to stick around. That's disgraceful behavior. And she's very invested in the pain that she believes Wallis felt, that she believes was caused to Wallis Simpson by the royal family. And who is the one who's the guilty party? Still living, of course, is Her Majesty the Queen, not, of course, the Queen Mother, who was the one who was the fiercest opponent of Wallis Simpson. She is long gone, but the Queen still is around. And so the heartache, the blame, the acrimony, the finger of blame being pointed at the Queen, and very blatantly being pointed with these outfits that so closely replicate outfits that Wallis Simpson wore. Very weird, in my opinion, very sick, very strange, but of course it is just my opinion for entertainment purposes. And thank you as ever for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow.